Have you ever seen a 94-year-old jogging? No, I'm not talking about some clickbait thumbnail from a longevity TED Talk. I'm talking about real people, like this man I met in Okinawa last spring. Tiny frame, sun-hardened skin, wearing those old-school Velcro sneakers, and climbing stairs like it's 1963. No cane, no knee brace, just pure, graceful strength. Now, before you start Googling miracle herbs from Japan, let me stop you right there, because it wasn't ginseng. It wasn't seaweed extract. It wasn't some $90 green powder that tastes like regret and lawn clippings. It was 3 vitamins. Yes, just 3. And here's the twist. They're probably in your kitchen already. The problem? Most people take them wrong. Too much, too little, at the wrong time, or they combine them with foods that block absorption altogether. And then boom, the legs start feeling heavy. You need to sit down more often. Your knees sound like bubble wrap every time you squat. I'm a doctor, but I'm also a son, a husband, and recently, a man who started noticing his own calves looking suspiciously flat. So believe me when I say, I don't care how fit you used to be. If you mess up these 3 vitamins, your legs will betray you after 60, no matter how many steps you log on your Fitbit. In this video, I'm breaking down the only 3 vitamins you need for lifelong leg power. Why most supplement advice is not just useless, but might be making your legs weaker. And what I learned from treating over 10,000 aging patients in both the US and Japan. We're gonna laugh a little, react a lot, and probably ruin your favorite multivitamin ad. But by the end, you'll know how to wake up every morning, look at your legs, and think, yep, still got it. Let's start with a lie we've all believed at some point. If a little bit is good, more must be better. Spoiler alert, it's not, especially when it comes to vitamins. 1. Why legs fail first, the underestimated danger. You ever notice something strange about aging? We don't lose our eyesight first. We don't forget our names first. We lose our legs. It starts quietly. You stop squatting all the way down to pick up a sock. You grab the railing when you take the stairs. And one day getting up from a chair feels like a gym set. Now here's the wild part. Most people think this is just normal aging. But as someone who's spent the last 20 years treating patients on 2 continents, let me tell you it's not just aging. It's warning. Let me paint a picture. Imagine your body like a city. Your legs are the subway system. When the subway slows down, everything else backs up. Circulation drops. Balance gets sketchy. Your brain gets less oxygen. You move less. You sleep worse. You eat more sugar. And your muscles? They shrink faster than a cotton shirt in a hot dryer. In fact, studies show leg strength is the single strongest predictor of independence in older adults. Not cholesterol. Not even blood pressure. Legs. Now let's go deeper. There's a sneaky condition called sarcopenia, the silent erosion of your muscle mass. It doesn't hurt. It doesn't show up on your Fitbit. But it's happening in millions of older adults, especially those who sit a lot or eat low-protein diets. And the first place sarcopenia strikes? The thighs. That's right, your quads. The same muscles you need to get out of a chair, climb stairs, or catch yourself when you trip on the dog. Here's the kicker. Once your legs start weakening, your risk of falls skyrockets. And one fall can flip your entire health trajectory. I had a patient once, a retired violinist in Tokyo, 78 years old. Perfect vision, perfect mind. One misstep on the porch, fractured hip. 3 months later, he was in a wheelchair. 6 months later, hospice. So no, this isn't about vanity. This isn't about toned legs. This is about staying alive and mobile for longer. And yet, the most overlooked part? Nutrition. Not protein shakes. Not collagen powders. Vitamins. 3 in particular. Most people either don't get enough or get them totally wrong. So in the next section, we're going to start with the first one. The one your doctor probably told you was essential, but never mentioned what happens when you overdo it. Let's talk about vitamin D. And why taking too much might actually make your legs cramp like an overcooked rubber band. Ready? Let's go. 2. Vitamin 1, vitamin D, the invisible leg stabilizer. Okay, so let's talk about sunshine in a bottle. Vitamin D, the poster child of every multivitamin ad. The golden boy of wellness influencers. The just take it and you'll feel better vitamin. Except, your legs are quietly obsessed with it. And not for the reasons you think. Let me tell you a story. Back when I was working at a community hospital in Osaka, I had this patient 82 years old, still gardening, still walking to the market every day. One summer, she came in complaining of unsteady legs. No pain, no injury. Just this weird feeling like her knees didn't trust her anymore. We checked her calcium. Fine. Checked her B12. Normal. Then we ran a test that most people never think of. Vitamin D. Result? Barely detectable. Like trying to find sushi in a Kansas gas station. We started supplementation, and 3 weeks later she was back on her feet, no cane, no complaints, just back to arguing with her neighbor about whose tomatoes were bigger. So what's really going on here? Vitamin D is like the invisible stabilizer for your entire lower body. It helps your body absorb calcium, sure. But more importantly, it plays a central role in muscle contraction, neuromuscular signaling, and here's the kicker: balance. Low vitamin D doesn't just make your bones brittle. It makes your muscles dumb, slow to respond, bad at reacting. That's why people low in D often fall before they break anything. The fall isn't the cause. It's the symptom. Now let's get nerdy for a second, but in plain English. Vitamin D talks to receptors in your muscle cells. These receptors tell the muscles how to contract, how to stabilize, and how to coordinate with your joints. When D is low, that system breaks down. Suddenly, walking across the kitchen feels like tightrope walking over hot lava. You might be thinking, well, I go outside. I eat eggs. I'm probably fine. But here's what most people miss. As we age, our skin becomes less efficient at synthesizing vitamin D from sunlight. Meaning you can be in the sun every day and still be functionally deficient. And don't even get me started on sunscreen, cloud cover, winter months, or the fact that most older adults simply don't go outside long enough with enough skin exposed. 15 minutes of sun on your hands? That's not a strategy. That's wishful thinking. So what can you do? Get tested. Seriously. Don't guess. And if your D levels are low, don't just chug supplements like you're at a vitamin buffet. Work with your doctor to find the right dose. Preferably with D3, the active form, ideally paired with K2 to make sure the calcium goes into your bones and not your arteries. Now here's a quick real-world tip from Japan. In Okinawa, one of the regions with the longest living people on Earth, elderly folks take morning walks in the actual sun combined with small fish dishes that are rich in both vitamin D and K2. They're not doing it for Instagram. They're doing it because their legs work. In 90 and beyond. So yes, vitamin D might be invisible. But if your legs could talk, they'd be screaming for it. In the next part, we'll move from invisible to internal and talk about the one vitamin your nerves crave just as much as your muscles do. Let's dive into B12 and why a deficiency might be making your legs feel like jelly. Ready? Keep watching. 3. Vitamin 2. Vitamin B12, the forgotten muscle conductor. So, have you ever had that moment where you're walking across the room and suddenly your leg decides to ghost you? Like, 1 second you're cruising, and the next your knee buckles, your foot feels numb, and you're standing there like, hello? Anyone home down there? Let me introduce you to the forgotten conductor of that orchestra we call the human body, vitamin B12. I call it forgotten, because unlike vitamin D, which gets all the headlines and beachy Instagram posts, B12 is quietly holding your entire nerve muscle connection together like a stagehand in a Broadway show. Unseen, underpaid, totally essential. Here's a quick flashback to one of my older patients in Tokyo. Mid-70s, retired calligrapher, elegant posture, delicate movement, the kind of guy who made pouring tea look like performance art. Then one day, he shows up and says, "Sensei, my legs are shaking when I walk. Not weak, not painful, just unreliable." We ran tests, no injury, no stroke, but his B12 levels? Flatlined. We started treatment, and 3 weeks later, bam, he's back to writing kanji like a sword master and climbing stairs without grabbing the rails. So what happened? Vitamin B12 plays a massive role in nerve insulation, specifically in building the myelin sheath. That's the protective covering around your nerves, kind of like the rubber on a phone charger cable. When you're low on B12, the insulation thins out. Signals get sloppy. Muscles don't get the memo. You feel slow, off balance. Sometimes you even feel that pins and needles tingle in your legs like you've been sitting cross-legged for 6 hours. And here's the kicker, you don't need to be vegan to be deficient. Even meat eaters, especially over age 60, can have trouble absorbing B12. Why? Because your stomach produces less intrinsic factor as you age. And that's the thing, your body needs to absorb B12 from food. Translation: you can eat all the steak you want, but if your gut's not absorbing it, your nerves are still starving. So what can you do? First, get a blood test. Again, don't guess. If your B12 levels are low or borderline, your doctor may recommend sublingual B12. You let it dissolve under your tongue. Or in some cases, injections. Especially if you're dealing with serious nerve symptoms or absorption issues. And for food, think beef liver, sardines, eggs, and fortified nutritional yeast. Or if you're a little more Japanese, like my patients, a breakfast with miso soup, nori, and a tamagoyaki does the trick. It's not just tasty, it's nerve insurance. Bottom line, if your legs feel sluggish, numb, or like they've been outsourced to someone less qualified, B12 might be the glitch in the system. But now let's switch gears. You've got the electricity, nerves. You've got the skeleton, bones. What about the glue that holds everything together? Collagen. And that's where our next vitamin comes in, one you probably only think of when you have a cold. Let's talk vitamin C, the underestimated architect of stable, pain-free legs. Stick with me. This one's juicy. 4. Vitamin 3, magnesium, the unsung hero against leg cramps. Okay, picture this. It's 2 a.m. You're sound asleep, dreaming of walking on the beach. Maybe there's jazz in the background. Life is good. Then suddenly, bam, your calf seizes up like it's trying to twist itself into a balloon animal. You sit up in bed, gripping your leg, eyes wide like you've just stepped on a Lego. Welcome to the delightful world of nocturnal leg cramps, brought to you, quite possibly, by magnesium deficiency. Now, most people don't think about magnesium until their legs start doing the Macarena on their own. But this little mineral, it's everywhere inside your body. Muscle function, nerve communication, even heart rhythm. Magnesium is like that super reliable roadie in a rock band. Never seen, never thanked. But the whole tour falls apart without them. Let me give you a real-life case. A patient of mine in Osaka, mid-60s, retired sushi chef, still sharp with a knife but starting to feel tightness in his calves after long walks. First he thought it was dehydration, then poor circulation. He even bought one of those circulation booster foot spas you see in late-night infomercials. But nope. Simple blood work showed his magnesium levels were in the basement. 3 weeks of dietary tweaks, a few magnesium-rich snacks, a very dramatic goodbye to processed snacks, and voila, no more cramp attacks at midnight. So what's actually going on here? Magnesium helps your muscles relax. Literally, it's the mineral that tells your muscle fibers, hey guys, chill, you can let go now. Without enough magnesium, muscles contract, but then they forget how to uncontract. That's your Charlie horse. That's the toe that curls like it's auditioning for Cirque du Soleil. That's the tight hamstring that turns every stair into Everest. And here's the kicker, magnesium gets depleted easily. Stress, coffee, alcohol, certain medications, even sweating too much. Now, before you go chugging random supplements the size of horse pills, let's talk smart sources. Start with food. Nature's pharmacy. Pumpkin seeds, almonds, spinach, avocados, even dark chocolate. Yes, your medicine can taste like dessert. Some of my American patients love adding a scoop of magnesium powder to warm water at night. I call it leg insurance before bedtime. And if you're a bath person, try magnesium flakes in a warm soak. Your muscles will melt like butter on toast. Here's what you don't want to do. Ignore the signs. If your legs are cramping, twitching, or feeling restless at night, your body isn't being dramatic. It's whispering, please, feed me magnesium. Because trust me, it's way easier to eat some pumpkin seeds than to leap out of bed at 2 a.m. doing an unintentional ninja split. Now that we've handled the muscle relaxation department, let's zoom out. Because even the strongest legs won't do much if your bones can't support them. Which brings us to the next missing nutrient most people don't even think about until something breaks. Let's talk about vitamin K2, the traffic cop of calcium, and your hidden ally for leg stability. 5. Why supplements fail, the absorption trap. Let me ask you something. Have you ever stood in the supplement aisle, holding 2 bottles of magnesium? One says oxide, the other glycinate, and you're just standing there like, okay, is this a chemistry exam or a leg day fix? Yeah. We've all been there. The labels are shiny, the promises are bold, and the capsules are weirdly horse-sized. But here's the catch. Taking a supplement doesn't automatically mean your body absorbs it. Welcome to what I call the absorption trap, where good intentions go to die. Let's break it down. Imagine your digestive system like an airport. Supplements are passengers. Magnesium, vitamin D, B12, they all trying to catch a flight to your bloodstream. But guess what? If your gut health is poor, if the customs agents, aka your enzymes, are lazy, or if there's a delay in stomach acidinobodies getting through, you're just flushing your expensive vitamins straight down the drain. Now here's a fun fact. Magnesium oxide, one of the most common forms in cheap supplements, absorption rate is around 4%. You read that right. 4%. That's like trying to fix a pothole with confetti. I had a patient, let's call him Ken, early 70s, lives in Sapporo, very into supplements. Had an entire drawer dedicated to them. Looked like a GNC exploded in his kitchen. But he still had leg cramps, fatigue, numb toes. Turns out he was taking B12 in pill form, but his body couldn't absorb it well due to low stomach acid, which, by the way, is super common after age 60. We switched him to sublingual B12, a few tweaks in his diet, and boom, more energy, no tingles, and he finally cleared out that drawer. So what's the takeaway? It's not what you take, it's what your body can use. Here's what can affect absorption. Form of the vitamin, oxide versus glycinate, methylated versus not. Time of day you take it. Whether you take it with food or on an empty stomach. Gut health. Yep, even your probiotic game matters here. And yes, stress, alcohol, certain meds, even caffeine, theory, all in the sabotage club. So before you spend $80 on a super stack of alphabet vitamins with a name like Hyperflex Supreme 9000, maybe pause. Ask, is this something my body can actually use? Or is it just expensive urine? But don't worry, there is a better way to deliver nutrients. In the next section, we'll talk about how people in Okinawa, Japan, yes, where many folks live happily past 100, get their nutrients without popping 6 pills a day. Spoiler alert, it's tasty, it's natural, and it's probably sitting in your fridge right now. Let's head there next. 6. The Japanese plate, why less is actually more. Let me paint you a picture. You walk into a traditional Okinawan home. Grandma is setting the table. There's no protein shake in sight, no superfood smoothie, no powdered greens labeled bioactive extreme, just a few small bowls. One has miso soup, another some pickled vegetables, a bit of grilled fish, maybe half a cup of rice, and natto. Oh yes, the famously gooey, sticky, fermented soybeans that look like alien mucus but apparently add decades to your life. And somehow this tiny, almost minimalist plate holds the secret to stronger legs at 94. Now, if you're used to seeing plates in America where the steak covers the entire zip code and the mashed potatoes are stacked like Mount Fuji, this looks like someone forgot to finish serving. But here's the twist. They didn't forget anything. This is the meal. And that's the genius. Because in Japan, especially in the longest living regions like Okinawa or Nagano, they don't eat for volume. They eat for function. Everything on that plate serves a purpose. The miso, probiotics for gut health. The fish, omega-3s and protein. The rice, steady energy, not a sugar spike. The natto, vitamin K2, the underdog hero for bones and leg strength. The veggies, antioxidants, fiber, anti-inflammatory benefits. And they eat slowly, mindfully, no rush, No multitasking with their phones while inhaling burritos in traffic. Just eating, with chopsticks, one bite at a time. Now I know what you're thinking. But where's the protein bar that tastes like a chocolate tire and promises double muscle recovery in 8 minutes? Nowhere, because they don't need it. What they do have is better leg strength, fewer falls, and a population that regularly hits 90 plus and still walks to the market, not just from the couch to the fridge. I've treated patients in Japan. Folks in their late 80s who can do deep squats better than some gym bros in their 30s. And they don't take 15 different pills a day. Their supplement is fermented food and sunlight. So what can we learn from the Japanese plate? It's not about adding more to your plate. It's about choosing better. Smaller portions, nutrient-dense, naturally bioavailable, easy to digest. That's what your legs need. And hey, you don't have to move to Okinawa or eat natto if the smell scares your dog. But maybe, just maybe, trade one of those ultra-processed snacks for a miso soup or a handful of edamame. Trust me, your knees will write you a thank you note. And speaking of knees, what if you could test how your legs are doing right now from home? Up next, we'll go through a daily leg check ritual I teach many of my older patients. Quick, easy, kind of fun, and you only need a chair and 2 legs. Let's get into it. 7. Daily leg rituals from Japan. So picture this. It's 6:12 a.m. in a quiet little village in Hokkaido. While most of us are still negotiating with the snooze button for just 5 more minutes, 83-year-old Obacon is already outside, in sandals, doing deep knee bends, next to her vegetable garden, with a smile that says, "My legs haven't failed me since 1959. And no, she's not on pre-workout. No Bluetooth earbuds blasting EDM. Just her breath, the breeze, and maybe a very judgmental cat watching from the roof. But here's the thing, she's not some fitness unicorn. Across Japan, you'll see the same. Older adults doing simple, daily movement rituals that keep their legs young, joints buttery, and balance sharp enough to rival a circus tightrope walker. Let me walk you through a few of these quiet, powerful practices. And no worries, no yoga mat required. Ritual 1. Shiko, Sumo Squat Light. Yes, it's from sumo. No, you won't need a diaper. Stand with your feet wide, squat down gently, then lift one leg and stomp. Then the other. It looks silly. You might feel silly, but it works wonders. Why? That one motion activates hip mobility, strengthens thigh muscles, and improves your proprioception, that fancy word for your body knowing where it is in space. Which, trust me, is a big deal when you're on stairs holding a hot bowl of soup. Ritual 2. Toes up tea time. This one's genius. While sipping your morning green tea or coffee, no judgment. Lift your toes up and hold for 10 seconds. Then relax. Do that 10 times. It strengthens the tibialis anterior, a muscle most people forget exists until they trip on a rug. Also improves ankle stability. Bonus: no sweat, no equipment. You can do it in your pajamas while scrolling through cat memes. Ritual 3. Heel raises while brushing your teeth. 2 minutes. That's all you need. Every time you brush your teeth, do slow heel raises. Hold down. Hold down. You're strengthening your calves, activating circulation, and giving your soleus, the deeper calf muscle, the attention it rarely gets. It's like a secret gym built into your bathroom routine. Ritual 4. 100 steps after every meal. This one's sacred in Japan. Even centenarians do it. After eating, get up and walk. Just 100 steps. No power walking. No Fitbit challenges. Just walk. It aids digestion, lowers blood sugar spikes, and more importantly keeps your legs doing their job after meals instead of turning into logs. Now here's the punchline. None of these rituals take more than 5 minutes. None of them need a gym membership, collagen water, or a personal trainer named Zane. They just require consistency and respect for your body. I've seen 90-year-old patients in Japan do these every day. Some of them never used a cane, ever. Their secret? Movement done often, done small, done with intent. So, if you've ever said, "I just don't have time to take care of my legs," try this. Stack the ritual into something you're already doing: brushing, boiling water, watching Netflix. Because here's the truth. Legs don't fail overnight. They fade, quietly, from lack of use. But they can also be rebuilt quietly through these daily rituals. And next, well, we're bringing science and motion together. Let's head into a simple leg self-check you can do today to find out if your balance, strength, and coordination are secretly slipping. You'll only need a chair, and preferably pants. Let's keep it classy. 8. Takeaway, just 3 vitamins but done right. Okay, deep breath. Let's step back. You made it through a full breakdown of muscles, nerves, minerals, and the occasional Japanese grandma doing squats in sandals. Respect. So what do we walk away with? Just 3 vitamins. That's it. But done right. Vitamin D, not just a sunshine sticker on your supplement bottle. This guy regulates calcium. Yes, but more importantly, it tells your muscles, hey, stay sharp. Stay ready. Without it, your legs don't just weaken, they forget how to move with precision. Falls often start here. Vitamin B12, the conductor of your entire neuromuscular orchestra. If your legs ever feel like they've got the rhythm of a drunk flamingo, B12 might be missing. And if you're over 60, your stomach might not absorb it well even if you're eating meat daily. So yes, testing and proper dosing matters. Magnesium, the silent workhorse. The unsung hero. The reason your calves aren't seizing up at 3 a.m. like you just got tasered in your sleep. Without it, nothing relaxes, not your muscles, not your nerves, not your blood vessels. It's the mineral of chill. Now here's the catch. You don't need more. You need better. Better forms. Better timing. Better pairing, like D with K2, B12 with folate, magnesium with hydration. That's how you stop throwing spaghetti at the supplement wall and start making your legs and life work again. And if you remember nothing else from this video, remember this. Legs go first. Not because they're weak, but because they're ignored. You don't need 28 pills a day, a sauna subscription, and beetroot latte rituals. You need awareness, a few simple routines, and 3 science-backed nutrients taken with purpose. And now it's your move. If this video helped you pause, rethink, or even made you chuckle while checking your calf for cramps, then you're already ahead of the game. So here's my gentle nudge. Tap that subscribe button. Drop a comment with what surprised you most or which ritual you're stealing from the Japanese playbook. And if you want more no-fluff, science meets sanity health insights, I'll be right here. Your legs deserve it. You deserve it. Let's keep walking strong together. See you in the next one.